Attention! We do accept super chats and memberships, and all money earned goes directly back into the channel to allow for more giveaway, prizes, and perks for our viewers and listeners. The cost of running shows like this can be expensive and timely, but we do it for you. If you can help support the channel, we greatly appreciate it. But if you can't, all we ask is that you use your social media to share and support that way. We love you and thank you in advance. Also, we'd like to thank our channel members. We have Saggy Melons, Benson, Resident Justice, Prakash Swain, DC Talk with Extended, That One Carlos, Caiden Reed, Nick Carr, John Rodell, Justin Hines, Billy Robert, Adam Silvestri, Kinky Sphincter, Sean Adame, Nick DePalma, and Roblox Marvel Ultimate. And remember, be respectful. Hey, it's me, Circle Man. Please buy my comics. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and genders. Oh, sorry, doing that voice makes my throat all itchy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and genders all across the spectrum, to today's episode of JIVIN with Jack. Look, we had promised you that we would talk about Halloween Kills on Tuesday. It was going to be the #1 topic, but we ended up talking about DC fandom, and I love talking about it. I know some people didn't agree with me, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. We talked about the Batman, the Flash, and it is probably not the last time we're going to be talking about those shows. We're very excited. However, today we have a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about. Holy crap. We're talking about Halloween Kills. We're going to be joined by Caiden Reed and Austin Lean. Yay. We're going to talk about the Scream AMA. If you're a Scream fan, we're going to talk about that. Plus, Gal Gadot goes into more details. Where are my Snyder Cut fans? About some of the toxic work environment with Joss Whedon. In addition to that, Ruby Rose tells us why she left Batwoman. Plus, 2 trailers dropped today about super thieves, or thieves who are really good at what they do. We have our first look at Uncharted, and then we have our first look at Red Notice. And if you ask me, Red Notice felt more like Uncharted. But we'll get into that more a little bit later. Plus, we're going to talk about the Dune leak. We may even talk about what we expect. Will it be #1 at the box office? You know, after Halloween made about $50 million, despite streaming, can Dune replicate the same? I don't know. And we're going to give you an update about Gabby Petito. Plus, Austin is going to show us a new Michael Bay trailer. That's right, folks, Michael Bay. Austin wants to show us a Michael Bay trailer. But first, when you're in need, ladies, call my co-host, Caiden Reed. Come on in, Caiden.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for today's show. I'm going to have you and Austin. Austin's a little bit running behind.
Yeah, he's running behind, as usual. Just kidding.
As usual, yeah. That's what happens when you own your own channel.
Yeah, he gets a little in your head thinking that he can come anytime he wants.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Kasuka, we're talking Halloween and Scream tonight, and as a massive Uncharted fan, the trailer looked interesting. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about that because I didn't get many Uncharted vibes.
I think it's supposed to be a prequel. Like,
yeah, it is.
Prequel.
It is.
Yeah, it's a prequel to
but when
the
they were
game.
playing like dance music, like or whatever that music was, I was like, what? You know, where's the orchestra? But the funny thing is, there's a trailer drop for the new movie with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. That one actually kind of had more Uncharted vibes to it. It's interesting they're both about thieves, you know, sort of high-profile thieves, and they both dropped today.
It's also funny because, like, it wasn't interesting because you have 2, you know, DC actors, you have a Marvel actor, and then you have one Marvel actor in the Uncharted movie, and it's like, and then you might even have like some big star pop up in both, so it's like both are filled with all stars, but like a mega action star.
Yeah. I mean, well, The Rock is going to be DC. Ryan Reynolds is supposed to be
Deadpool.
Marvel. I don't know. Deadpool. I don't know. I know they're saying they're making it. And then Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. And by the way, her playing like a femme fatale, perfect casting. Because I've never seen her as evil or bad but damn, she looks good. She looks really good.
I only seen that in like Fast and Furious, but even that she was more good in that.
Yeah, and even then she kind of becomes a good guy. Like you know.
And in this you can kind of tell she's not gonna become the good guy nor stay bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like in the middle.
Suka, they're wrong. They're all wrong. Halloween Kills. Gavin, how you doing, Gavin? I don't hate the movie, but am I supposed to be routing for Michael? Actually, I'll be honest with you. I kind of was rooting for him. Like, here's the thing.
I've always liked dumb people.
Not rooting in the system, but when he killed certain characters, I was like, oh no, like I was shocked. But let's get into it because a lot of people outside of the theater, some people loved it, some people hated it. Some people say it's a horrible sequel. I've heard some people say it's the best sequel since H2O, best sequel since the second one. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's talk Halloween. Guys, we do accept super chats. I needed to pay for my comic book. If you didn't see yesterday's opening skit, it's
Circle Man versus the Republicans.
He fights Republicans
with a virtue light.
With a virtue signal, yes. And if you didn't see I think Ty was a little upset by my thing. He wrote like a paragraph comment about that. I was like, you got to be, I haven't seen Halloween Kills. I've heard some very bad things. I love some H2O. Okay, so Kazuka, we're going to try to do a non-spoilerish at first. When we do get to some spoilers, like the ending, I'll warn you, and then just
you can mute.
You just mute us, and I'll put in the comments we're done with spoilers. Is that all right, Kazuka? So like you can't hear us, but I'll write Kazuka, we're done with spoilers. So let's just talk about the movie. So for all you fans know that Halloween 2, H2, all those sequels are no longer canon. So what's interesting about the way the movie starts, it starts off literally moments right after the end of the first one. And go ahead.
With the girls, I forget her name. Oh my god, it slipped right away. Was it Allison?
So it was Allison, Karen, and Laurie. Yep.
Yeah, Allison's boyfriend is on the phone with Oscar.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's trying to call Oscar, but Oscar is dead.
Okay, exactly. So he's calling his friend Oscar. By the way, he had the greatest turnaround in the character. So the boyfriend character, who's a huge jerk in that last film, is actually really kind of decent in this film. Like, basically, what happens is he finds Sheriff Hawkins, and he actually stays with us. Like, I'm right here with you. He's like putting, like, he's trying to save him. He doesn't try to run like he's going to run or something or scream. No, he stays like, what's your name? Hawkins? Hawkins, I'm with you. I'm not leaving you. Oh,
right.
Oh my God, damn.
Funny thing is, the actor was in the Netflix show You season 3.
Oh, okay.
Season 3, and his character is great in that too. Like, but he's a great actor overall.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And Gavin, that's what I'm going to talk about right here. There's two sprees, like, where like it's the Michael Myers warehouse scene from Batman vs Superman.
Basically, yeah.
This here, woo, damn! I mean, it's in the trailers that he's going to kill all these firemen, but the way they build it up, he steps out, and they're all looking at him, and like,
and they're getting their axes ready. I'm like, the dude, the host should have like totally should have just like full on had someone go full on power with that.
Yeah,
man. Like,
Michael goes full Michael in this. I mean, I was worried it was going to look like martial arts, but just it looks cool enough without it look like Michael has
full on like hand-to-hand combat, but with like he takes any
like a
weapon,
kind of way.
Like that whole scene when it's like the when he's in that the girl from the first movie who was at the cemetery, who was the first people to see him outside of the jail.
Yeah, yeah.
When he literally took a light bulb and smashed it, that whole thing. I was like, oh.
Guys, we're talking about a fluorescent light bulb.
Yeah.
He takes it breaks it and then stabs her. I'm like, oh damn, dude, this
And
movie was really brutal with the kills. I mean,
it was,
really
and then like he just took her husband and like
loved-
put him on the cutting board and started just stabbing him in front of
Yeah.
her and like basically like, torturing her like and like
watch. Yeah, I mean that kind of goes into this like whole thing where Michael's kind of fascinated with what he does. Like there's a scene in the original Halloween where he stabs a kid up against the wall and he just kind of turns his head like this, kind of looking at his handiwork. And then in the beginning of the first Halloween where he kills his sister, you're watching his point of view and he actually looks at his own hand stabbing her like he's like, fascinated. So yeah, he stabs the dude, grabs another knife, stabs again, grabs another knife. He almost plays like a triangle. And then like he decorates his victims a little bit. I mean, it was like really like, you know, people say he's mentally ill. I think it goes beyond that. This movie sort of reinstitutes the idea in the first one that yes, he's a man, but there's something else to him. Not that he's supernatural like the devil or that he's possessed, but there is something about him that is kind
like,
of supernatural.
Laurie basically straight up says what he is at the end with her whole monologue. He's fear. You can't kill him with fear. If you're afraid and you're killing him, he consumes that and he doesn't die because of that. And that's why Laurie Strode's like, I'm not afraid of Michael anymore. I can kill him.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about that real quick. So one thing that pissed people off is kind of a spoiler. Hey, Leonardo, evil personified, is that and Kasuga, this is a bit of a spoiler, but Laurie isn't really a main character in this. She's in it. She has some important moments, but her versus Michael kind of take a break in this movie. Like she's mostly in the hospital, and I actually liked that. I kind of liked.
I liked it because also
other characters.
If they were to have them fight again in this movie, it wouldn't really mean anything, you know, because all the fights that she has had, even in the non-canon movies, they all mean something.
Yeah.
Whenever she fights him, they all mean something.
And look,
and in this one, it wouldn't really mean anything.
Because like in the trailer, you see her like she's like, give me the injection, and she gets up. You're like, okay, so she just got stabbed. She just had surgery, by the way.
Yeah.
And she's gonna get up and fight, but no, she can't. She's not a young person. This kind of subverted the expectations at times again with the boyfriend character, who was a complete douchebag in this movie, comes around. Like there's a scene, right, where the boyfriend arrives at the hospital. Allison's already at the hospital, right? And they run into each other. I'm like, all right, now we're gonna have the CW scene. We're like, but Allison, I love you. You cheated on me. How could you? And like the movie takes like a 10-minute break. Nope. Both of them put that BS aside because both of them have been through something traumatic.
And understand that there's this.
Loved it.
And like the scene with, so you have that scene and then you have the mom coming in who's like, don't go, Allison, don't go.
Yeah.
And like, I love you and I don't want you to die. It's like, but there's someone else. These people under these blankets and going into these rooms, also people love that. And and the same person that hurt them hurt my grandmother. Exactly. I need to go fight this.
Exactly. And I didn't like her in the first movie. I liked her in this movie. She doesn't
I like how they're saying
go through the lovey-dovey stuff. She's like, nope, let's work together. Let's work. So, by the way, that's the boyfriend on the left, and that's his dad. The dad is Lonnie from the first one. So, real quick, before we move forward in the story, let's talk about, not this. Whoop, not that. But after that opening scene, we get a flashback to 1978. Caiden, as someone who loves the first movie, it was pure fan service, but I loved it. They played the original music, dun, dun, dun.
Like
they show how he got arrested.
It was half from the movie and half reshot, right?
I think a lot of it was all reshot. It looked good.
Yeah,
it looked really good.
Because I think the one when we see Michael go in and disappear, I think that's from the first movie. But then everything else from there is reshot with the new actors that they got to play the younger versions.
And whoever they cast as Loomis, I think it was an actor plus CGI, looked exactly like
prosthetics.
Loomis.
It was prosthetics and CGI.
Yeah.
And like it was more prosthetics than CGI, but man. Ezra Miller is the Wish version of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say this guy's much better looking.
Yeah, Ezra Miller's the Wish version of him.
And by the way, again, he ended up coming like his character. Let's just say his encounter with Michael, everyone was rooting for him. Like everyone was like, "Oh God, like dude, not this guy." Like
I know. Like I was, and like the one thing that I didn't like is when Michael does something to him, then he takes that weapon out and drops it. he drops the thing. I'm like, don't drop it, especially if you're, and also like he had, like they like I was just like, oh my god, like
All right,
again, like
Gavin,
you're rooting for
here we
him,
go.
but you realize how dumb these people are at the same time. Like,
Yeah, well, you know
again,
what? I want to address that real quick. That people are dumb in horror movies. Here's the thing. First of all, if they weren't, there would be no horror movie. Number two,
right? They're in
I've
the
never been in
moment.
high stakes situations like this, but
Yeah,
even when I've been in, like, I see a freaking spider, your
right.
body freezes. Now, that
Yeah.
is nothing being compared. People in panic situations do dumb things. That is,
Yeah.
your adrenaline is high. You lose coordination. Your sweat glands are pouring out.
It's true.
When you're running, you will trip because now you're not. When you run, let's say you go on a jog, you're just focused. You're calm. You're looking where you're going. You're running from someone. You're not really looking where you're going. Believe it or not, that is really how people behave. Look on YouTube how many situations, not like horror situations, but regular situations, people are just clumsy. They panic. They freak out. When you watch a horror movie, why do we get scared? It's a movie.
Right.
No, it's not real. We're watching something fake, but your body tenses up. Your heart goes up. So when people are panicked in actual panic situations, absolutely. Everyone's been criticizing the whole mob aspect of this. Dude, this happened like in America for a whole summer. People were rioting and looting. We saw it happen on January 6th at the Capitol. People just
there's people
shit and breaking stuff.
Yep. And they're like, again, like that whole scene, it shows you how, again, it takes the mystical of the fear, and it also takes the reality of the situation, combines the two, and makes a scene.
Yeah, exactly. So, and some people like, how did Michael survive that? How did he get from here to here? I'm like, dude, if you're asking the questions now after 40 years, you're kind of missing the whole mystique of the character. Same thing with Jason. Right. Jason always gets around. The idea is that there's something supernatural about him, but they don't show him like floating or anything. Like,
right? No,
there's
the
something
supernatural that's about him is the fear, is that he's the essence of fear. That he was so insane in the brain that fear took over, and that he was consumed by it, and then accepted it, and then became it.
He became it. That's a great explanation. You should have written that ending. Leonardo, you kind of. I'm going to take a bit of a break. No, don't anyone go. There was an issue last night. I'm not going to get into it. Where someone said something on another stream against one of our members, and that person kind of spoke back. And we decided, look, I love you guys kind of being a little aggressive. I like that. I prefer that. But keep it peaceful. Like last week or last Tuesday, Prakash and Austin went at it, but it was peaceful. Like they didn't say like, well, your mama's so fat or anything like that. Be passionate. We love passion. But don't make any not Leonardo, not you directly, but just remind me of that. Last night, one of the we technically lost a member for Pop Culture Corner who said they're not going to be members anymore because of an interaction they had with one of our members on another channel. That person made a certain comment, and our member very rightfully defended themselves. I'm trying to use gender neutral pronouns here, and it got kind of ugly. So what I'm saying to you is, be fun. I love controversy. You have some controversial say, but keep it peaceful. I personally can take it, Caiden can take it, Austin can, but like, just don't attack each other vindictively. Like, don't say, "Oh, you so and so, you're ugly."
And also, don't talk behind people's backs.
Yeah, exactly.
And going off to talk bad about people behind people's backs that you know would talk to that person about what you said.
Yeah, and so guys, I know I'm being kind of vague here, but there was an incident last night. We Pop Culture lost a member because they didn't like how the other person responded to them. So me personally, I like the chatter, but this person did attack that other person. The person said something back, and it got kind of ugly. We want you to have fun. We want this place to be a great place. We want you to be a little bit controversial, but don't attack someone directly or say something negative about them. Like, Caiden's so ugly, he has to hide his face behind joking. That was a joke. Caiden's in my head, he's a very handsome man.
What happened?
That wasn't directed at you. Just reminded me of that. Last night, let's say there's a certain person missing from today's chat who's always here. That person withdrew their membership. But, yeah. Ooh, maybe I can't tell. We'll talk back. Well, if Austin
say it in another stream.
In another show,
when we can probably talk more about it.
Exactly. But let's just say someone said something and the person reacted like this, and really
Imagine.
Yeah. Let's say this member of Pop Culture Corner defended themselves really hard to the point where I think that member like just was very upset about it, even though that person kind of started it. You know, it's sort of like, you know, you poke a bear, you poke a bear. When the bear hits you back, you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I must do something. And then you do some like empty-handed threat that you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and look, the anonymity of the internet is great. Like, yeah, you can't find me, you know. But anyway, and look, we're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to deal with that. You can't. No, this did not happen to Caiden or me. This happened to someone else on the team. I'm not saying.
No, this happened to someone else.
And this wasn't on Pop Culture Corner.
No,
neither of us. Like, if someone says something like really horrible to me, I usually subvert it into a joke. You want to do attacks? I'm fine with it. I'm like, go ahead. I'll just sit here and like look at you, whatever. But this person wasn't having none of it. This person was not having none of it. Stood up for themselves and, you know, stood up for themselves.
Good on them for standing up for themselves, because it was well needed for them to do that. But then again,
yeah, exactly. Again, this is none of you. If the person who did this, none of you guys is not here today, and I would welcome this person back with open arms. I'd be like, hey, you said something, maybe you shouldn't have. That's up to you. Use your own judgment. But then that person retaliated. Right. Gavin Coy's like, I will find him. I will find him. Man, I love that movie so much. But we're talking about this movie. But anyway, we'll I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not the type of person who censors comments or anything. Like Ty got mad, a little upset. He's like, "You're Prakash and Austin are arguing, and you're kind of encouraging." I'm like, "Yes, as long as they keep it." You know, if like Austin said something to Prakash, which you would not do, and I know Prakash wouldn't say something. I'm okay with it getting heated, but don't make it personal. Make it personal means like, okay, I'm not winning this argument, so you know your face is this or you're that. Look, that people make fun of my little man bag. I'll make jokes about it. I'm like, hey, times have changed. Get woke or go broke. Oh, that's not why. Sensei Senpai. Kasuka, you're naughty. I can't wait to go to Japan.
It was Hot Paul. No, it wasn't.
Nah, it was
someone else.
No, someone else. And it wasn't on Pop Culture Corner because we don't allow that kind of language on Pop Culture Corner usually.
Yeah, no. If that was here, then everyone would be like, we'll know who it is.
Loser, we get demonetized. So if you ever notice we don't curse too much, it's because YouTube, if you say like the F word like more than once, they demonetize you. If you reference the political party of the country that started a war in 1939, they demonetize you. That happened to me.
Yeah.
Or the guy
who demonetize they like say, oh, if you have like the virus in your title and like as your main title or whatever, they demonetize you. Like they're like, it's like whatever.
You can't even curse in the comment section or like the description. Sometimes I like to put a little colorful language in there just to make things. But anyway,
you can't have colorful language.
Black
and white language only.
Yeah, black and white language only. Or if you want to say, you know, you ever watch Battlestar Galactica? They say frack, like, oh, frack.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, listen, this movie, a lot of people complained it wasn't like the first one, or the previous one, where it's like, you know, the same story. I was kind of okay with this, and this one, Michael is just kind of, it's a cat and mouse game, and Michael is just going around killing people, and the more people he kills, the more people get enraged, and basically a mob starts to hunt them down. And the story has a little bit to say something about like mob mentality, like all these people back here, they all team up. And what's interesting is that the original survivors of the first film, you have Tommy Doyle, which was the little boy, you have Kyle Richards, who plays Lindsay, and then up here in the back, you see a little older woman between the boyfriend and girlfriend. That's the nurse. Them, they take up shotguns. They're like, all right, we're going after Michael. And to address a comment, I think it was Gavin who mentioned it, or it might have been Calvin, or Gavin. Bro, the kill when he opens the door and hits the girl and causes her to shoot herself. I remember going like, that was kind of cool. And the guy in front of me is like, yeah, Michael, all right. Yeah, that was kind of badass. I started dying laughing.
It was like me and my family watched it last Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was like, and when that happened, we're like, okay, on set, that must have been the most funniest day or scene to shoot because like Like the stunt person, the actual actress, Michael's actor,
Yeah.
everyone on set that day must have been having a laugh how like funny this kill was.
So without getting into too much spoilers, a certain character goes up to Michael, is like bam, 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 and then Michael kicks the door and she knocks herself and then shoots her in his own head. It
Like,
sounds stupid, but when you watch it, like even Michael's kind of like, damn, I'm good. It was kind of like a John.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I did that.
Yeah. And look, the most of the movie is just that. He just goes around, people are hunting him, they're trying to kill him. The police lose containment. So at this point, the hospital is like flooded with bodies, just injury victims.
And
by the way,
people.
Yeah, people. The old couple he kills. The black woman is from the cemetery in the previous film. She takes the British podcasters to the. A lot of people ask, well, what was he doing in their house? He was actually in their bathroom, and if you remember, his fingers got chopped off or shot off in the last movie. He applies a bandage. You see a bandage on his fingers, and I was like, why does he have bandages on his finger? I'm like, he was in the bathroom stitching himself back up, so to speak. And that couple find out he was in the and boy, ooh, that was brutal.
If they didn't find out he was in there, I'm sure he would have left him alone.
Oh yeah,
like he would have been like, all right, wrap up, leave.
Kasuga, are you flirting with me in Japanese? For all of you who don't know, Kasuga is a 19-year-old girl from Osaka. Here we go. Gavin said, I'm pretty sure I've said the F is wrong with you in the movie like 20 times, but like, you know what? Like to me, like saying that, like to give you an analogy, is like me watching an MCU movie, like that's against the laws of physics. Where's Iron Man's motor? Like when you're watching a horror movie, like you kind of have to. Yeah, you're right. People are going to be stupid in the same way in a comic book movie. I'm a Star Trek fan. How do you go faster than light? It takes a matter and antimatter, and boom, you're traveling faster than light. You know, you're just like, and then a physicist is like, yeah, that's not how that works. Like you kind of like, you know, or like when Han Solo said I did the Kessel Run in like 10 parsecs or whatever. Some scientists are like, that's not what a parsec is. It's like just shh. So Gavin, like what you're saying, you can say that about almost every horror movie. Like they all make dumb decisions because it wouldn't be a fun movie if they made smart decisions. If people made smart decisions, then you know it wouldn't be fun. You know, yeah. Michael's like, shit, I'm good. Michael kills spoilers. Yo, dude, I think he had Jason numbers in this one. And you know what? I realized they had to do. They like, okay, so he used a kitchen knife in the last movie. That's what he always does. In this one, we're gonna be creative with it. We're gonna have him use a chainsaw. A fluorescent bulb, someone else's gun. What else does he use?
He used a fluorescent light. Not bunch of knives, like
a lot of knives.
Even like a pie knife, the circular knife. He even uses that.
Kasuka, yes, but you don't see it, which I'm okay with. I have a problem with killing kids on screen.
He kills one kid.
Yeah. So, by the way, so there's 3 kids who are kind of pranksters. They're all wearing masks from Halloween 3, the one that doesn't have.
They are.
And you don't see that kid get killed. In the first one, you saw the kid that looks like Ty get killed pretty brutally.
Right.
I really want to show that scene because you guys would die laughing. It looks just like Ty.
It looks like Ty and sounds like Ty.
What happens if we showed a few seconds of it? If I went to Voodoo,
what happened to the last time we showed it?
And I showed this scene with this kid who looks and sounds just like Ty.
No,
Ty's cool with it. Like, no, it's not bad.
I know.
Ty. It just literally looks and sounds like Ty if Ty was like, 12. But
there's a big fella in our bathroom, honey, and he's wearing a monster mask.
Dude, he was the I'm a big Michael fan, so like I kind of, but he was truly terrifying in this one in a way that I haven't seen the other ones. Like, just really, there's a part where after this scene, Kyle Richards runs into like kind of like a creek, and she's hiding underneath a tree, and he's walking right near her, and she's like doing this, and I'm like, oh and then he walks by, and then he stops. I'm like, oh no, and he keeps going. I'm like, oh,
right,
like that. Because I was actually scared of him. I was genuinely scared of him because this movie gave 0 Fs about who it killed. Kazuka, I don't want to say too much, but there are a lot of characters you're like, they want to go, and brutally, not like just stabbed, like, tell my mother I was great.
It's as if you combine the kills in the first Halloween and Halloween 2018, combine them and make them more brutal.
Yeah.
it's like he kills so many things.
Well, again, when I think about the mask coming off for a bit, I wasn't against it. Again,
No.
you don't really see much of it. They did it in Halloween 1. They did it in
You only
Halloween
see, the only
5.
time you see like part of his face is like the burnt part with the missing
and the
eye.
shadowy part. They did it in Halloween 6. Again, they always just either H2O they didn't do it. Resurrections they didn't do it. Rob Zombie literally had him take his mask off and talk in Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But that moment about the mask connects to the first moment because so you go to the first movie when Michael is choking Laurie at the end. She rips his mask off and he stops choking her and he puts his mask back on. They really kind of imply that there's some connection with the mask. Where's that picture I pulled off? That there's something about the mask that he just uses the mask. It's almost like
because it's the way for him to mask his fear. I think it's because he isn't afraid, but he's still afraid. And that's his way to mask his fear. And that's what helps him able to consume the fear. He's able to put fear into people with that mask.
Yeah.
Because it's a blank mask. It's a blank face. It's just
nothing. To me, the mask is more of him than like his actual face. Like that's who he is. Like that.
It shows you because it's emotionless face. And you have someone that is emotionless killing you, then you're afraid.
You're more afraid. And also, it's almost kind of like, I don't want to get all psychobabble-ish here, but a little bit like, maybe there's some insecurities about himself because when he killed his sister in 1963, he was wearing a mask. Hey dudes, no Austin. Austin's coming. That's what I was told. Austin's not been feeling well. Again. But Austin's not been feeling well this week at all. On top of that, he's got the pressure of the new show and everything. So I'm going to text him right now. Are you coming? If not, no worries. In fact, he might be watching. So is that Adam's thing where he's like, Adam doesn't come unless Austin's on here? Nick Carr says, nah. Gavin, the music in this, excellent.
Like there's this
John
scene.
Carpenter did, by the way. John Carpenter did the music.
Yeah. So there's a scene where you hear the music and then you don't hear it because you don't see him, and then the person does something, and then you hear the music again, and you're like, oh snap, he's coming back to deal with this person, and it's just like there's certain times when you hear the music that you know he's coming, and then when the music fades and then goes back up, you know that he's coming again.
I mean, I would say, listen, if you're expecting sort of the first movie again, where it's like more subtle tension building, no, this movie
it lets you know when he's coming.
It's like an hour and 45 minutes, just brutality from beginning to end. But it's done, in my opinion, in the best way. It's not like the Saw movies,
or
Centipede or anything like that.
Once you hear it's like you have the music that lets you know.
Okay, for those of you who are asking who and what, now you guys know. Adam, you missed it. I already had this conversation. I had the talk with everyone about keeping things simple. Okay, favorite kill of the movie? I think the gunshot,
that one, or it's Big John and Little John. Like I love I thought
Leonardo was my fanboy girl, and Kasuka's my fangirl. And
funny thing is Big John and Little John, who live in the Myers house now.
Oh, we didn't even talk about them. They were the best characters in the freaking movie.
Oh my god, Big John and Little John in the movie. They're the ones you have have a movie night and like whatever, and
you guys a little bit. It's a gay couple. And I immediately recognized, so there's Big John and Little John. Big John is the tall guy. Little John is the low one. So they're both named John, and they live in the Myers house. They're the closest thing to a break you get. Because you meet them at first, and they're interacting with these kids. And that's Michael Myers' house, He lives in there. And little do they know, Michael's on his way. The tall guy is from Mad TV. He played a character named Stuart. He played a big baby. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Mad TV back in the day. He was freaking hilarious. And I'm like, it's Stuart. It's Stuart. Michael McDonald is his name. Dude, great. Great.
Like I saw some review on the movie that was like, "Oh, does this show
Adam, I
that
know.
Michael is homophobic?" I'm like, no, they live in Michael Myers' house. Again,
Yeah,
they say that.
this is why I kind of hate the woke stuff a little bit, just because
Yeah,
stuff like that happens. Like, if he
people.
did kill, like, he kills everyone. He kills children. Like,
He killed them because they're living in his house. Like again, they said in the beginning of the scene when they're like, if you come inside the Myers house uninvited, he will kill you.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was a reference to them dying later on. Like,
yeah.
Like
Uh,
that was the point blank reference right there. Then
Yeah.
there was a reference and a foreshadowing for them to die later on.
Yeah. And I don't think Michael would even know they were gay. He just sees
No.
two men. He just,
And also, it could have been where this thing where, like, Michael, again, it could have been one of two things where Michael, because he was knocking on the door, knocking on the door, and if they answered it, I wonder what had happened if they helped him, would he have killed him later on, or would he have just left? You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Michael's hands are rated E for everyone. Look at these comments. I'm loving this. Look, if you guys didn't like the movie, I understand. If you wanted something more like the first movie, I understand. But here's the thing with horror movies, and I forego my structure to Scream 2.
Right.
The kills are more creative, much bigger blood count. The villain has to be scarier. And I'm gonna say the first one, but Halloween 2018 is sort of a Force Awakens of Halloween. Is kind of like a soft reboot. Yeah, it's a sequel, but we're gonna retell you the story. Michael goes to the graveyard, he hunts Laurie, he kills a couple of babysitters, but you can't necessarily do that film again. All right, like it worked because it was the 40th anniversary. Okay, now
the last Jedi.
And I also think it would have been boring if he just went after Laurie again. Like, I'm going to go to the hospital. Done. And of course, the hospital has 500 people, 200 cops. He would
have killed the whole town. Or I don't even think actually he would have lived.
Yes, Gavin. People say stupid things like that.
Yes.
People say stupid things like that. I once had a young white girl tell me I didn't understand the troubles of people of color because I disagreed with her about some things. And I'm like,
huh?
But they say stuff like that. I call them the college woke ones. They're the ones.
They're the ones that think they know everything about racism.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yes. Hold on. Guys, don't go anywhere. We have a special guest joining us. Ooh. We have a special guest coming on. He'll be joining us very soon. But yeah, dude, I enjoyed the F out of this movie. Again, this is a bit. I wouldn't even say turn your brain off. There's a lot of homages. Did you see any bigger social commentary with the mob mentality other than some people said it was January 6th? I thought that was going too far. People.
I didn't really see much of social commentary other than that the whole thing where it's like the people trying to jump on the bandwagon to think they know who Michael is.
Yes.
That's the big one. That was the big one where they think they know who Michael is. And that's the thing, why didn't Laurie or them say they know they know that Michael's a tall, slim guy, but not some short, stubby guy.
Yeah. And again, when you're angry and ticked off, basically, folks, what happens in the movie, there's another mental patient who escaped.
Yeah, it was a mental patient that
he's also running around, but he's not a murderer. He just has issues. The people think that's Michael, and they chase and harass this dude. But the dude's really short and chubby. He obviously is not Michael. He looks like the Penguin. Yeah, that's he looks like the Penguin. But this guy is so scared, and the mob's like, Michael's here! Everyone chase him! And pitchforks, a little bit of a nod to Bride of Frankenstein, kill him, take him down,
Right.
And Laurie's even Laurie jumps in. She's like, yeah, get him. And then she's like, wait, that's not him. And then Tommy goes, shut up, it's him. And then Chief Bracken's like, is that him? But they're so filled with anger. I'm not gonna say what happens. It has a very dark ending. It's not exactly what you think it's gonna be. It's really sad actually. And then they're like, yep, that wasn't him. Whoops.
It was just
look, Tommy Doyle kind of becomes, I don't want to say the villain, but a villain.
Yeah, he does. He kind of becomes an antagonist.
Yeah.
almost.
All right, so
where
I have
he's-
Tyler's permission to show that scene. Keep going.
But yeah, he
He
becomes the antagonist.
he certainly, you know, what the hell's going on here?
You have Michael, who's the villain,
yeah,
but then you have Tommy, who's the antagonist, but also in the beginning he's the protagonist that turns into antagonist.
yeah, and then he tries to defend himself and kind of, I don't want to, well, I'm not gonna say anything.
And then
but
he becomes a protagonist again, and then it's like he has a story arc in this where he has a great story arc in this.
Yeah, Kasuga, we're gonna show it right now. I'm looking it up right now. Without spoiling it, what did you think of the ending? I know a lot of people didn't like it. I think
it showed that Michael can't be killed.
Yeah,
like it was a great message of. It was great that they had Laurie's monologue about fear and Michael, the relationship between fear and Michael, and killing, and then they showed that scene.
Yeah,
I was like,
I thought the speech, the music. I think it was Gavin Cool who said earlier he liked the ending, and the way it just kind of explodes. You're like, oh crap, you know?
Yeah, and then like even the ending with that whole thing too. It's like, oh my god! It's like. Then you realize that now there's a meaning behind for Laurie to actually go after Michael now. Like, there was no reason for her to go in this movie, but now there is a reason for her to go after Michael. And for Allison to go full in after Michael.
All right, hold on. Let me see what's in the comments. When Michael kills... Yeah, okay. Ty was the one who said his cousin and Justice were the ones who printed it out originally. Wait, what?
Huh?
Oh, pointed at. Oh, they did. I did not know that. I guess pointed out that looks like Ty. I don't know.
Oh, it's like it doesn't look like Ty. It is him.
It is him. All right, so I'm gonna pull up the scene and listen to his voice too. It kind of sounds like I'm gonna show only a little bit, just because this is a copyright film. But like, let me know if the audio is fine. So this is the father, and you're gonna see the kid who looks like Ty and sounds like him.
So you never see Antonio been at the car wash.
We do this all the time.
I like you.
No, I enjoy it, but I miss some dance class for this. And sometimes I'd rather do that than hunting.
Dance class is important to you?
Yeah, it is.
Some more time in the woods, hunting, fishing.
On weekends I'll do it with you, Dad, but I really love it. And I know everything, you know.
It's him. It's Ty.
I mean, Dad, let's go!
All right, I don't want to show too much because like they have things that track this, and.
Right. But yeah, like it's Ty if you're a little kid and you like to dance. If Ty likes to do dance class.
Oh, he showed it too? He took my idea. The lookalike, yeah. Oh my god, it is Ty from Halloween Creating Pop Culture Corner, yeah. And see that poor kid gets killed, and I wasn't too I mean, I'm not like a prude or anything, but like in horror movies, you know, they never actually showed Michael killing a kid, and I was like, ooh, damn.
Wait, they killed the kid?
That kid died. Michael takes his hand, slams it against like the door repeatedly when a kid tries to escape. Yeah.
Right. Yep, he does. Because I was just like, because I know he kills the dad.
Yeah. Well, he even sounds like him. Yeah, he sounds like him too. The kind of raspy voice a little bit. And like it looks like him too. It kind of looks like Ty when you guys know the haircut story a couple months ago. Because of lockdown, Ty had to find a new barber, and the person didn't speak English well, and just basically gave him a buzz cut almost.
Right.
And like he had very short hair. And Integrity, welcome back, my friend. I enjoyed Halloween Kids. I think it's pretty obvious Lee Curtis sacrifices herself and kills Michael Myers at the end to save the granddaughter who may get a trilogy. Maybe. I think that's the obvious thing. That's where they're setting up.
I think it's pretty obvious what they're going to do with her because, like, it's not like she's a character that, like, she's a character that, like, is going to become the new Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Like, they set her up throughout this whole trilogy for
they debunked something that's been part of the original canon, which is that he's coming after me, Laurie says. He's coming after me. Michael's coming after me. And then the sheriff or the sheriff is like, no, he's not. He wasn't coming after you. The doctor in the last movie drove him to your house.
It was Allison that said that, like, Allison was like, he's not coming after you, Grandma. He's like he was like let out by the Dr. Loomis's protege.
Yeah.
And because even like it was like even crazier because it's like Dr. Loomis's protege was even crazier than Dr. Loomis. It's like
Well, Dr. Loomis wasn't really crazy. I mean,
no,
he
Dr.
the
Loomis
only
was like
person
crazy,
warning
but
Michael is he's like, you guys ain't taking him seriously, and people were like, oh, shut up, Dr. Loomis.
right.
So that's Dr. Loomis on the right. That's Dr. Sheriff Lee Brackett on the left. That's him in this movie. I'm like, damn, what happened to him? I was like, dude,
Right.
hit me right in my chest. When I was like, no, not Sheriff Lee Brackett. He's been a recurring actor. Charles Cyphers in a lot of John Carpenter films. He's in Assault on Precinct 13. He's in The Fog. He's in Escape from New York. He was in a lot of Carpenter films. So it was nice to see him kind of pop up again. But yeah, look, the ending of that movie, I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. But another character that redeemed herself was the daughter, the middle daughter, Karen, who was basically a Karen throughout the movie. But like in this movie, she kind of has a Karen moment. It's like, why aren't there more security guards in the hospital? What is law enforcement doing about? But she kind of redeems herself. She kind of becomes utterly badass, especially in this scene. She's like, Michael, like she's trying to save her daughter. Come here and get me.
One thing I did that I wish they did was, but although like again, if they did it, then we wouldn't have the ending that we had. And we wouldn't have the big monologue.
But like, dude, that was so basically Michael gets away. I'm not going to say too much about the because I think it's worth watching with the gang that surrounds him and the whole speech. But Karen gets killed. Like she goes to Michael's window and he's like, I ain't forgot about you, B word. Like you just know that was personal because she got him twice. She got him in the first movie when she's like, I'm so scared. Gotcha. Shoots it. And then she got him again in this movie. He took that personally.
Yeah,
the movie like
it's Halloween Kills, like in the first Halloween in 2018. She shoots him in the neck, right?
Yeah, or in the face.
In the face,
that's why, like, if you look at his mask, he's got like
a mark, like a scratch mark.
Yeah. I have a close up of the mask right there. Yeah. That's where he got shot.
Yep.
If you look on his cheek over there,
and like again, it's like you can see the eye that's obviously injured whenever you look at.
Yeah, the injured eye. So that's supposed to be from the coat hanger. So remember, there's a scene where Laurie's in the cupboard and she throws a coat hanger into his eye and he goes like this.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be like his eye got messed up a little bit.
And what's even crazier was
but
that was it was like she was like, no, don't do anything, and like the way she breaks her, like fractures her ankle.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, oh, that's a rupture fracture right there.
Yeah.
You go to the hospital for that.
And the boyfriend, he just takes his throat, and then he was
like,
drooling. Michael sees he's alive as he's walking downstairs, does like a Steven Seagal, just snaps his neck. I'm like, oh,
it's
God.
like,
The whole audience was like, the boyfriend who everyone hated in the first movie was like, no, not him. You're like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, but yo.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this movie, I was thoroughly entertained by a horror movie. In a way that I wasn't by. I saw a Spiral earlier this year. I liked Spiral. It was okay.
Right.
I saw the Conjuring third movie. I enjoyed it. Some decent scares. But this one was like thrilling, till the last second. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. And for some people are saying Michael's too brutal. It moves away too much from the last film. I said, you can't necessarily regurgitate the first film. That's a problem with Friday the 13th. It was just Jason, camp counselors walk in. He starts picking them off one by one. Then he faces the last one, and it's like they have to do something different. I kind of like the mob story. The whole sequence at the playground, I loved. Big John, Little John, I love them, I wish I had more photos. I keep recycling photos. But yeah, are you surprised at the critics score a little bit? I know we say Rotten Tomatoes doesn't matter, but we kind of matter.
I think it really was because, again, it's one of those things where critics are very critical of every single movie, even though they know that horror movies aren't supposed to be as criticized as art house films or some other blockbuster films. Like, that's like, it was just, It's just that they criticize every film to the same degree, and that should be.
Can I ask you a question? How come they haven't done that? I'm not saying the Marvel movies are that bad, but they're really lenient on Marvel in terms of reviews.
That is true.
That
They
kind of
are.
surprises me because horror movies kind of recycle the same cliches and stuff, and the Marvel movies kind of recycle. I mean, it works.
It works,
But, I'm surprised none of the upper echelon critics have said, this is kind of the same thing we saw in the last movie and the one
Right.
before that. And again, I say, except for a handful, they kind of all start to feel the same. Whereas go back to Phase 1, like Iron Man 1, Captain America 1, are very different movies. They're not the same movie.
They have like a Marvel critic.
Yes, thank you. They did do that in Halloween 4. There's a lot of nods to all the other Halloweens, including The Curse of Michael Myers. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a movie that, even though like other movies aren't canon, they really celebrated the other movies as well.
Are you talking about this? Oh, the Black Phone. Oh, I think Black Phone. Yeah, that looks really.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
Dude, Scott Derrickson. I didn't know Scott Derrickson did The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's another incredibly underrated horror film. I think that's a great horror film. Scott Derrickson, of course, did Doctor Strange, but
he also did
that again got mixed reviews. But I don't know if you ever seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose. But yeah, everything you need to know about Halloween Kills is in the title.
Yep. And also in Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
The title gives you basically what's going to happen in the movie.
They should, But even then, I don't know. Do you think they're going to end it with Halloween Ends, or like maybe
I think they're going to end Michael Myers and Laurie Strode's story in Halloween Ends?
Yeah.
But then possibly we might see. I wonder if they're like, it might create like a new monster or something like that in Halloween Ends, where it's like it leaves it open, like, oh, do you want to see Allison versus this person with the new trilogy or not?
Maybe, yeah.
It might be something like that.
Yeah. Let's kind of segue into this. I saw Halloween Kills and Last Duel the same day. The Last Duel, great reviews. I mean, Ridley Scott, a lot of people always put out his good movies. He has a lot of duds on his hands. But
it's like every other film that he does, it's like it's a hit or miss. It's like it's like hit, miss, hit, miss, miss, hit, hit. Miss.
Like I thought his two Alien movies, the last ones, Prometheus was okay, but I thought Alien Covenant, it's like the guy forgot how to direct. I thought it was such a crap movie. But this one got great reviews, but it made nothing over the weekend.
I forgot that Adam Driver's in this movie.
Yeah, Adam Driver's in it. But I'm going to say something about this. I don't blame people for watching Halloween because the Halloween trailer sold what the movie was going to be. This movie didn't do a good job of selling what this movie was going to be. Two men fighting over a woman, and it was just like, do I want to see that, or do I want to see this?
Right.
How about that for a Last Duel, baby? Yeah, I heard it was a great movie. This looks like a great duel. Yeah, exactly. I love the new trilogy. I gotta say, I wasn't too crazy about Halloween 2018. I didn't hate it. I was just like, yeah. But this one made me like that last one even more.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this. So we've heard this thing like the Suicide Squad came out the same day as it was streaming and in theaters, bombed theatrically. The theory was, well, because it was on HBO Max, people aren't going to go to the theaters when they can just watch it on HBO Max. Well, this one was on Peacock, and it made 52 million worldwide, domestic and international, 50 million just in the U.S. This had a crazy opening box office. Ooh, here we go. I mean, it's like it didn't even ever come out in Peacock.
Yeah, it opened with 50 million, which it was it's obviously surprising for a horror movie that is on a streaming platform.
Yeah. By the way, you don't have to pay that much more because you could always say, well, Black Widow did pretty well, but yeah, you have to pay $30 to see Black Widow.
Because with the because
if you have Peacock,
there's 3 tiers on Peacock.
Yeah.
And the first tier is free, and you get just standard TV and movies.
Yeah.
But with the second tier, you get everything, and the third tier, you get everything and more. So it's like, honestly, the second and third tier, and they're both not that crazy. So it's like you're paying $4.99 for a movie, like for everyone to see,
Yeah,
but like you also get a movie plus
that's true. But
everything.
the theater was packed.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so fun to watch a horror movie with an audience because I saw Spiral, no one was in the theater. I saw Conjuring, no one was in the theater. I saw The Unholy, no one was in the theater. The Purge, what was it called?
Bingo.
Forever Purge, which by the way was a good movie, very decent movie, underrated. No one was there. Like it was kind of weird to be in the theater with you. I mean, Shang-Chi obviously was a Marvel movie, but it was just so nice to see a crowd just react to the kills and to the viciousness and to the music and people screaming. You know, it just felt so good. It was this is the best Halloween experience movie I've had in the theaters in 22 years. Last one was H2O, which I liked. I did not like Resurrection. I did not like the Rob Zombie films. I did not see the new one in theaters. I had no one to go with.
I would say this. That is so true. People underestimate horror because because people don't.
I think I've been thinking about it later because I was saying, you know what? It's just that it came out on HBO Max and all this other stuff. I think you're right. A lot of times I would tell people the Suicide Squad, it's a new one. It's got the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy directing it. It's getting good reviews. They just didn't care. There was something about that David Ayer film that people really, even the theatrical version, people liked it. Young people, especially, I would go and they were like, really, like every time you go to like a bar, you go to a restaurant, they're like, dude, we like that Suicide Squad movie. We loved Harley Quinn. They didn't really get that crowd, that Hot Topic crowd for the new one. They just, I don't know. Because I think our Ayers had a little more.
Jason Killard finally said the reason why that they aren't really paying attention to box office, or like they put the movies on day to day. He was like, "Oh, we don't really care for box office this year. We care about the audience reactions and stuff like that."
Can I tell you something? I feel like that's something they tell their investors when the investors look at the numbers. Because I'm telling you right now, who made this Universal Pictures is definitely like, hey, look what we did. We gave you the biggest movie of this year so far, which is Fast 7, which is at $700 million worldwide. And now we have Halloween Kills. By the way, Halloween Kills is not a big budget film. This is probably at best a $30-40 million movie.
Wait, go back to that picture.
Yeah. So this is this past weekend.
The top 10 movies is Halloween Kills, No Time to Die, Venom of this weekend.
Yeah, this is this weekend. Just this weekend.
Yeah. Venom, Addams Family 2, The Last Duel.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what
that's the top 6, and then like Free Guy, Lamb, and the other two I don't know what those two are.
Most Candyman is still up there. Candyman was great. Unfortunately,
been out since like September around this. It was like I think it's been out since.
You know what, Terry? That's a good point. They did put Batman in the marketing for it. I'm not saying the Ayer film is better, but that one connected with people. Even like there were those of us who didn't like it. There were a lot of people who liked it, who didn't really care about sort of the issues that I had or other people. They enjoyed that movie and they would go see it again and again. I did not see that enthusiasm from that crowd for the James Gunn film. So the investor, to tell the investors like, holy crap, we just paid $200 million for this. You're like, yeah, we don't care about box office. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And right now, Universal is looking really smart. Like, hey, Halloween cost like $30 million to make. We just made that back in one weekend. Fast and Furious, we put it in theaters only.
We made 1.5 of it.
Real quick. And it's probably going to keep making money for the rest of October.
Weekend. Definitely.
I'm going to go see it opening week. I'm taking the family.
Yeah.
Ooh, water. There's a great feeling after you work out and like some time has passed, you're a little bit thirsty and water just tastes so good. But yeah, I'm going to see Eternals opening weekend. We're going to go X Plus or whatever. And we did Shang-Chi. I usually take my family for Marvel movies. They usually have fun with them. Halloween, I think kind of debunked that whole like, I'm kind of curious about Matrix now because Matrix, I feel, is a film you have to see in theaters. And they can't say, well, it's also on HBO Max. And people are like,
Matrix 4.
Yeah. That's another good segue. That's a good segue. Kind of still talking about Halloween. Do you think Dune is going to have a good opening weekend at the box office?
Maybe because I don't know. Because like right now it has 3 million, I believe, worldwide, and that's not looking good. Because again, worldwide by now should have been like around 10 to 15 million.
Yeah.
And then you also had this big leak that was a week ahead of release.
Yeah.
So people are watching it ahead and people are downloading it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let's hit on that because I'm still going to connect this to Halloween because I would not be surprised. But yeah, Dune got released a little bit earlier.
It got
And
released earlier internationally, and
yeah,
then someone leaked it
was it
online,
yeah.
and it went into all the torrent sites,
Jeez.
and and you have people who are downloading it, watching it on their own TVs a day, 2 to 5 days before it comes out, and
Hey Beltray, how you doing?
it
So,
got leaked.
Do you think it's possible, Caiden, that Halloween beats it this weekend?
It might beat it.
Isn't that crazy? What should have
might
been one of
beat
the most anticipated films of all time, and it's getting good reader.
And I'll be surprised if it barely beats it. You know,
Yeah,
I do have faith in this movie, but at the same time, I don't with the leaks and with internationally getting it early, and with HBO Max.
yeah. And I don't hear too much hype about this in general. Do you know what I
No.
mean? Like, I don't hear too many people going like, which is a shame because
Go see it. You have to go see it. Like,
you have to go see
like
it.
the
In
people
theater,
that have seen it, the people that have seen it, that that I've talked to, like William, Ty, like some of them have said go see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
But then again, you have people that have seen it because of the torrent sites and the leak sites and downloading and seeing it on HBO Max in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So like it comes on HBO Max in 30 minutes. So it's like, after watching Jack, I can go watch Dune on my home screen with my surround system.
Exactly. Well, we have someone who's seen Dune, straight from Halloween 1. By the way, that's not an insult. I'm not trying to be like making fun of you. I was like, it just looks like, I feel like, I don't know what you look like when you were a kid, but that looks like that's you or like your little brother or something.
Yeah, man. I filmed the movie, so I know. No. But my cousin, actually, I was in the movie theater with Justice when I saw that Halloween movie, right?
Oh.
And as soon as that kid came into frame, I was like, "Fuck, man! I hope he doesn't notice." And Justice turned to me and was like, "Bro, you're in the movie, man!" And I just started dying laughing. You can't say anything about that. It was too spot on.
It was. So let's talk about this.
It does look like me when I was younger, though, and kind of now.
Yeah. Anthony says, if you have HBO Max, why go to the theater? So, Anthony, like, we've been talking about this a lot. We encourage you guys to support the movie industry. Right now, it needs a lot of support.
Yeah.
Because aside from the big
doesn't matter if you don't like the movie. At least
if you want to support. Because I have Peacock, by the way. I have Peacock, and I still haven't watched Halloween on that. I saw it.
I know someone who did this
Dude,
before,
why would you? First off, why would anyone want to sit at home and watch Halloween? I haven't seen it yet, but like, why? I wouldn't even watch it on Peacock, even though I do have it. Like, that's a movie. Same thing with Dune. For the people that are illegally downloading it, you're just stupid.
The people who are illegally downloading it, that's you guys on the screen right here. Just a big butthole.
You're ruining it for everyone else. Dune is the most spectacular film I've seen this year, including the Snyder Cut.
Exactly. And so here's the thing. I love DC, Marvel, and Star Wars, but I want to see other stuff. Dune has me excited. I'm excited for The Matrix. I want to see other properties. And, like, if people don't go out and give support to these movies, they're not going to make these movies anymore. Like the next Alien, the next Jurassic Park.
Yeah, everything's going to go to streaming.
Everything's going to go to streaming, and they are going to cut budgets. Like right now, they're doing big budgets. You're going to be like, you know what?
I wonder how this is
on the budget.
We can make it in front of a deal with Dune 2, Part 2. How that's going to, because people, again, it's one of the things where it's like, it might have the biggest streaming numbers of all of the movies, and they're like, oh, people like watching Dune on streaming. Yeah. So that like really questions like, what would they do with Dune Part 2 if they would release it theatrically or still do the day and date for Dune Part 2?
The problem with people not realizing the repercussions of what they're doing now is, you're gonna if this starts happening where things go to streaming more often, or streaming takes over rather than a theatrical experience, you're gonna get that Netflix effect, which is like a lot of movies and a few good ones. Like, you know what I mean? Like some of Netflix's movies are terrible, but they'd rather have quantity over quality because they know they can lessen the budget, make more movies, get your eyes on their platform more often, but they don't care what you actually think of the film.
Yeah.
So if that's what we want as a society, then buckle up and get ready because it's coming.
It's coming. Look, I said this a couple weeks ago. If you had told me, I was like, 1999 when I was a kid, like, hey, in 20 years, video stores are going to be gone, but like Barnes and Noble is still going to be here. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Gone. Like video stores are gone. That was something you'd be like, no, video stores aren't. Who would stop watching videos?
Like the only video quote unquote store that you have is Redbox.
Yeah, Redbox, and even Redbox, like they're always like, please just come here. We're gonna see for 99 cents. I get emails every day. Just come and get a movie from us.
Right. It's like we have this movie for guess how much? $1.99, and it just came out in theaters 2 months ago. You can buy the DVD and slide it into your DVD player and watch it. Yeah. After it's been out for 2 months.
He made Gladiator, and then he made The Kingdom of Heaven, which is, and then I did not like Prometheus. I give props to Prometheus. I did not like Alien Covenant at all. I thought the guy just lost his mind. He didn't have the same writer.
Yeah.
No.
It's one of those things where it's like, but yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and see, Anthony, like, imagine if you have to watch Infinity War for the first time in your room, on your phone or on your laptop. One of my greatest movie experiences was watching Infinity War and Endgame with a packed crowd, just going nuts, in the theater. I would have hated to have watched Infinity War for the first time, in my room, and not have that moment when Cap picks up the hammer and the whole theater just started erupts, like with Halloween Kills, there was something about being in the theater. Or Shang-Chi. Look, when I was in Shang-Chi, I started cheer as soon as the Marvel logo played. I'm like, woo! And the entire audience just kind of went with it. Like moments like that, something fun about watching.
And seeing a movie with a group of people.
Yeah.
Like you can go by yourself to the theater, but still make sure you're in a
Come on, Logan.
Like a couple rows filled. Because especially movies like that, like Marvel, DC, or big blockbusters that make you hype.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah, like those are movies that you'll want to see in the theaters with the groups of people.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. And so that's why Anthony, I understand, but hey, Halloween proved it. People did not watch it on Peacock. They were like, no, we're gonna see this in theaters, and it was fun. I had so much fun.
Yeah, you already have Warner Brothers making movies, DC movies, two movies a year for HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
You already have Disney Plus possibly making. Yeah. Well, you already have streaming shows. You have possibly them doing now that. For Marvel, they're doing specials, like the holiday specials, the Werewolf by Night, the Guardians holiday special. Like those things are quote movies, but they're probably gonna be 70 to 80 minutes long.
Yeah, they're not.
It's not worth putting in the theater because no one wants to see a 70, 80-minute Marvel movie.
Exactly, and honestly, I think Dune, if you don't miss it, see in the theaters, it's going to be a big misstep. I also feel the same way about The Matrix. I think that those movies are always well shot. And, Batgirl is probably not going to be as big budget as, let's say.
No, it's like $10 million, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably not going to be big budget, which I'm okay with. But I still want to see, the big. Look, in a perfect world, I would like to see Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 in theaters. The only reason we push for it at HBO Max is because it's quite clear HBO would rather have it than Warner Brothers. So that's why we've been saying that, but I would rather see that on the big screen. I wish I could go see the Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition in screen. I wish I could see the Snyder Cut on the big screen,
right?
In IMAX. But just
wouldn't that be the life?
Yeah, but speaking of which, movies that came out on Netflix. Did you guys see the trailer for Red Notice? Again,
Red Notice.
Red Notice. It's got The Rock.
Ryan, of course I've seen it.
Again, I'm like, damn, it's being made by Netflix. That looks like it could be fun to watch on the big screen. I don't know if you guys have seen the
trailer. It has a theatrical run.
Oh, it does.
We covered Netflix Day, man. You don't think we watched the trailer?
No, it was a new one that came out today.
The one that dropped today. Yeah, there was a new one that dropped today. And again, I was like, God damn, I wish this would, and even if they do the dual release, I'm like, still,
It
watch.
It has an exclusive theatrical run from November 5th to the 12th. So it's a week on theaters by itself. And then
people are gonna go and just like wait a week. They'll be like, whatever, I'll watch it next weekend.
And then November 12th on the Friday after, they'll release it on Netflix. And I think they'll have another. They have so it's 3 weeks on theaters, and then the rest is on Netflix.
Which theater chain is doing it?
Let me check.
Cinemark.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one, but like again, I like the deal they made with Nolan that Universal did. I think what is it? How many days? Like we'll keep your movie in theaters for like, I think 90 days at least. So that's about 3 months. Like they know that he's a theater guy. And by the way, how great does Gal Gadot look in this? Like playing a bad guy. I mean, I kind of like it. I'm like, Wonder Woman. Like
it's amazing.
It's just because she always plays kind of a good guy, and it's just kind of nice to see her in that type of role. It's weird. Anthony says it's weird to me that Netflix hasn't started marketing Army of Thieves yet, which is weird. Probably closer to when it comes out. When does it come out? Army of Thieves. That's probably a little bit later, isn't it? Army of Thieves.
In November.
Yeah, Netflix doesn't really start marketing till like a week out.
Yeah, that's how they are. Even with like
2 weeks out.
Oh, it starts. Actually, no. Oh, it was supposed to come out next weekend, but it got delayed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how Netflix is. They know that people binge and forget, so like that's something they're gonna like promote probably the week of or like a week before, like
Yeah.
You probably see it you're popping up on your YouTube ads, but yeah, no. Did you guys see the Uncharted trailer? Because I thought Red Notice had more of an Uncharted feel than the Uncharted trailer did, just in terms of the music and.
No, I haven't seen it, but you want to bring it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up because the problem with the Red Notice trailer, there is like licensed music in it. So I was like, I would like to show that, but like, when there's licensed music, like it gets in trouble. This one just has.
Yes, I know.
Boochie, 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 and I was like, wait, what? Why is this in an Uncharted, trailer? But remember, so if you guys are fans of the game, this is supposed to be, as Caiden mentioned earlier, a bit of a prequel. It's supposed to be Nathan Drake when he's younger, and he's not quite Nathan Drake yet. Share audio, maximize the screen, and Caiden, pull it up or wherever it is. I'll do it. I got it. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and play it. This is the Uncharted trailer.
There are places out there you can't find it anymore. They're not gone. They're just lost.
How are we on the bottom like this?
In the future.
Hey, kid. A little young for a bartender.
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Wait, Mark Wahlberg's in it?
This path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
Yeah, he sort of plays the guy who gets him into
Treasures
it.
have never been found.
Sully.
5 billion easy. I think you're here because your brother.
Well, you know my brother said it.
If you find that gold, you find him too.
Who the hell is this? I'm a friend of Sully's. Sully doesn't have any friends.
So I think that's supposed to be the character Chloe.
You are a collector.
Well, I dabble.
I don't dabble. My family has been looking for this potion for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatening to kill me.
The thing about
touch your ear like that. You look like
he's
an idiot.
20 years old.
You have no idea
30
who
years
you partnered with.
So there he kind of
I've
looks
been
like
about this
Nathan
stuff
Drake.
since I was a kid. My brothers say I have one final clue.
And they took this straight from the third film, or the third game. It's a great sequence.
Guess I'll keep on living.
Oh my God!
Shouldn't have come out to play with a big boys being because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
That looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a. I'm trying to think. They don't really do
So I was
adventure
trying to say
movies
too,
anymore, like Indiana
Anthony,
Jones or like The Mummy. Like, let's explore some
right.
ancient. They kind of did
I
the
was
Tomb
trying to
Raider
tell.
movie.
Oh wait, Nathan Fillion's 50, and in this movie, Nathan Drake's supposed to be 25, 30. It's supposed to be like 5 years before the first game.
Yeah. Not only that, the last game of Nathan Drake, which is Uncharted 4, which is sort of the last one, the end of his story. He's like 39 in that one. Like, that's when he retires from this, at age 39.
Yeah, because
so like, Nathan Fillion's too old.
In the first movie. Yeah, he's supposed to be like 25, 26 in this movie.
Yeah, because in the first game, he's like 29, 30. And I kind of miss adventure movies that have to do with like archaeology or like, movies like The Mummy, National Treasure, like some mystery that happened thousands of years ago. We have to figure out. And they just don't make stuff like that anymore. And if they can do it with Uncharted, they could have done it with Tomb Raider, but I wasn't too crazy about that Tomb Raider reboot. I don't know why. I always say, why don't you
that movie put me to sleep, man. Yeah,
I mean, you had a great premise. They basically took the idea from the game that she's a student, she's not the Tomb Raider yet, and it was boring. I'm like, why don't they get the people who write the damn games to write the movies?
Misha Green, who wrote Lovecraft Country, written the sequel to it.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, because I heard the sequel. They're taking their time with that because Tomb Raider is such a great.
I think they're and it's supposed to be like this like thing where like way Misha Green like announces that she's doing something, she kind of teases like what the film has to do with. So like and like she put dinosaur skulls and stuff like that. So it's like might have to do with like that whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. So how old is Tom now? He's 25, right?
He's 25. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's perfect
25.
for the age.
Yeah. I mean, so the character that Mark Wahlberg's playing is called Sully. He's usually a little bit older in the games, like kind of like a Tom Selleck mustache going on. He's got to end the movie with the mustache.
Right. But if they're both younger, right?
So basically Nathan Drake is an orphan, like basically like a riffraff. He basically says he's a descendant of Sir Francis Drake, and that's the ring he carries around his neck. And then Sully, who's a professional thief, takes him in under his wing. And is like, all right, you're good at you're a good kid. You're good at stealing and sneaking around. I'll show you the ropes, and they both become thieves, basically. So each game is always like some specific treasure that they're always hunting down.
Right. I would say
you know what? The games themselves pretty much are like a mini series, like in terms of amount of cinematics they have.
I'll say this:
fun.
If they wanted Nathan Fillion to be in this movie, I think he would have been perfect for Sully rather than Nathan Drake.
Oh yeah,
because he is the age range that Sully is supposed to be in a movie.
Yeah, and the Indian girl, by the way, I think it's supposed to be Chloe, who we meet in Uncharted 2, and her and Nate have a past. So I think this movie's like, well, how did they meet? They have a past. Like ooh la la. A little bit of romance there, and there's a great line in Uncharted 2 when she's climbing up a ladder, and he like literally, I don't know if they will let this in games anymore, but he literally looks at her ass, is like, it's a shame you have to sit on that thing all day. Because then I was like, they're not gonna put that in the movie.
Yeah, she's Chloe. And then you have Tati Gabrielle, who's the villain's daughter, Braddock.
Okay.
And Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. The villains in Uncharted are always kind of like cookie cutter, like a rich person who's like, I got to have this treasure, even though I'm already rich.
Right.
But I have to do it because reasons. But
it's funny how like
Uncharted, but
it's funny how both Uncharted and Red Notice are about archaeologists / art thieves.
Yeah. Well, that's what he is, because Nathan Drake is well educated in history. He can read like ancient Latin, he can read ancient Greek, he can read Sumerian. Like he's not like some dumb thief. Like he's well read. He's done his own studying, and he's read books and maps and stuff. So I hope they don't get the impression like that. Oh, he's just some dumb goomba with a gun. Like let's go steal some gold. Like he is really well read.
I was always under the impression that the Uncharted took place like years ago, like long time ago. So I guess that it was a little unexpected for me.
No, it's modern. It's always set in modern times, which is kind of cool. still haven't had a well-made video game movie, at least a great one. We've had some decent ones, but this one might break it. But again, Sony's making it. Sony can either give you Spider-Man 2 or they can give you Spider-Man 3. Hopefully this one's closer to Spider-Man 2 in terms of quality. But speaking of Gal Gadot, you, me, and Caiden and Austin know this story, but Gal Gadot kind of came out this week and specifically mentioned what happened with Joss Whedon. Did you guys hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of knew this.
I think a lot of people are speaking out this week, or maybe it's like a piggyback thing.
Ruby Rose, we're going to get to her too, but basically Gal Gadot says this, quote, "I was shocked by the way that he spoke to me," she told Elle magazine, quote, "You're dizzy because you can't believe that was just said to you. And if he says it to me, then obviously he says it to many other people." And then he talked about how it's close to the Ray Fisher accusations, Charisma Carpenter on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she's like, "I was shaking trees as soon as it happened. He kind of threatened my career and said if I did something, he would make my career miserable." Oh, bottom rail on top now. And then she continues, and I must say that the heads of Warner Brothers, they took care of it. Going back to the sense of righteousness that I have.
Batgirl.
Yeah, I just did what I felt like I had to do, and it was to tell people that it's not okay. Well, you have to remember that even though Justice League didn't do well, Wonder Woman had just come out a few months earlier and was, at the time, their biggest hit. It made like $700 million. She automatically became their golden goose. So for Joss Whedon to speak to her the way he did, threatening her career and stuff like that, we all know about the story that she did not want to do the scene from Justice League where Barry Allen falls on top of her. Like he's literally lying on top of her and then like pushes her off. Neither
Ezra or Gal were in that scene. It was both of their stunt doubles that did
Oh,
that.
really? Yeah. Apparently, like he's a huge jerk. You know, it's a shame because he's a very talented writer, or was at one point. Do you think Uncharted movie will bomb at the box office? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Probably not. Just, I mean, unless we go into another lockdown because now there's a new variant. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think it will do well. Will it be $1 billion movie? I don't know. It has to be good though. It can't just be hey, we took these characters and here's a couple of sequences.
I think
it has to be hard to
win by then, like 80% by then of February.
Yeah. But Gal Gadot, just look, she's top of the world. She's going to be Wonder Woman 3. She's going to be in Cleopatra. She's going to be in this new movie, Red Notice. There's talks of bringing her character back to Fast and Furious because when she was killed off in Fast and Furious, she wasn't really a big star. Now she's a big star. And they brought back the guy she was in love with, which was Han in Fast 9. It would be like no sense. Of course, hey, let's get Gal Gadot. Like Fast and Furious is all about, well, let's bring big stars. Well, now you do have another big star. Bring her back in some capacity. They brought Michelle Rodriguez back. Fast and Furious, they can just be like, she was all right. She survived. But bring her back. And then speaking of accusations, Ruby Rose, who, by the way, I know the show gets crapped on a lot. It's not a great show, but I watched it. I liked it, sort of.
I like season 2
and I liked her in the role. I haven't seen the new one yet, but I liked her a lot. She's got a something about her. She just has like this I don't know if it's just her cheekbones or sharp facial features. She just has like sort of like a she's really good in the role. Like whatever the writing is.
For me, it wasn't I felt like she wasn't good because one, like she says it's her passion project, but I didn't feel it when I watched her at all. Any scene that she was in. If she was a scene with a newer actor, always the newer actor, the other actors outshined her.
Do you think that has to do with the writing, though? Like, they weren't sure how to write her, though? I always liked her. I thought she was fine. I mean, maybe it's because everyone told me it was, like, the worst thing ever, kind of. And I was just it wasn't that bad.
She wasn't bad in the crossovers, either. Like, the crisis.
She wasn't bad in the crossovers, but she was bad in her own show.
I don't know. Like, I thought she had kind of a commanding presence. Like, when you mentioned the crossover, I thought she sort of very assertive. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, and again, like that's not easy to do for a male or female, but I thought she was assertive. I always liked her. She's got like a spunk to her that I always liked. But anyway, so this is what she said. I'm going to read to you what she said. But basically, she got injured pretty badly during the marks of the show. Why is this article so damn long? Oh my God, like I had to highlight it right here, and now I got to go through the whole thing and find out where she was. Okay, so basically she had broken a rib and while filming the show, and someone else got injured, and she was threatened with, like, if you don't get back to work in 10 days, we're going to replace you or you're fired. It was like, damn, like, first of all, this is a CW. This is not like this is a big budget movie, but like,
I'll say this: WB is cheap when they're in Vancouver or in Canada, because Canada is very cheap to do things.
Yeah,
and they take advantage of that. And
yeah,
while they take advantage of that, like, you have like pretty much every show that has come out of that, like CW. You have Arrow that ended. There has some things that, you know, that people would say what happened on Arrow, but, you know, like Stephen Amell, he has emotional attachment to that character. He had a full-on panic attack. Like when the finale happened, he had panic attack when he was on Radical Rosamund's podcast when talking about being Arrow and ending that, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. She writes here, she said, please, to my dear fans, stop asking if I will return to that awful show. I wouldn't return to it for any amount of money, nor if a gun were to my head. Okay, so she was famously injured during production, required emergency surgery to 2 herniated discs. Now, my dad had a herniated disc, and those things are very painful. Like, it's really messed up. 2 herniated discs. That's a lot of pain. Like, you can't even lie down. I wanted to own it, and I don't want to keep lying to it. It was making me feel sick. And then what else would you like me to share? The broken neck or the broken rib split in 2 and the tumor? She alleges that someone named Roth threatened to recast her if she didn't return to work shortly after surgery. Imagine going back to work 10 days after this. Look, good acting or not, bad acting or not, that is not a way to treat a human being. That's pretty awful.
And Warner Brothers just keeps hitting it dead on, baby.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You can tell, like, look, it seems like Gal and Jason are having a good time with Warner Brothers because their movies have done well. But, like, that's kind of brutal. And, like, it was kind of weird. I'm like, wait, she's leaving the show? Like, all of a sudden, like, they got to retool the show. She doesn't want to come back at all. Yeah, I know she did, but she's going after she does not want to return.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have to.
And you're right. CW writers are in general not too great. HBO is going to make better shows because it's HBO. They're going to write better shows because they know how to write good shows.
Also not being paid $1,000 per episode. They're being paid $3,000 per episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. So it's like there's a difference between CW writers' pay and HBO Max writers' pay.
Okay. The negativity associated with WB is going to take their stock price further down if Zav's loss doesn't clean house. And look, Prakash, we know that's coming. We know that's coming. Whether or not that means the Snyderverse is restored, we know, Ty, that they're going to clean house. I think a lot of these, we already know Toby Emmerich was trying to get a job at Netflix, and Netflix is like, yeah.
And Jason Keeler,
they're all set.
Jason Keeler, Toby Emmerich, and Saranoff, all 3 of their jobs are at risk.
Yeah. Maybe Walter Amada sticks around. I don't know. But
Walter Amada has his contract until late next year. So it depends if they keep his contract or find someone else. Yeah.
And, you know, if they break the contract, they still got to pay him. But we'll see what happens. And look, people got hot about this on Tuesday. I still have hope for the Snyderverse. It's only been, the movie came out. We talked about the Snyder Cut like it came out 5 years ago. We haven't seen a sequel like it's Man of Steel. It's only been a couple of months, and the movie has done very well. So fingers crossed, keep pushing for it. But we're also going to talk about the CW. We're going to talk about Titans. We're going to talk about the Batman. You know, now WB are working. Oh my God, Prakash, where are you going with this? Trying to get us in trouble? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know.
But I will say this.
Now, Prakash, everyone's woke, for better or worse. And how dare you attack woke character?
Yesterday?
I'll tell you who's a woke character.
Oh.
Circle Man.
Circle Man. We love Circle Man.
Wait till CW greenlights Circle Man.
Yes, we need some money.
He will cancel people. He will not kill them.
But I will say this. WB's like statement yesterday
Yeah.
was 100% true. She didn't leave. She was fired.
Oh.
There was complaints. She's on. It's been known that she has a.
Tell me the other part of this. So this I don't know.
Being an on-set diva. And
Yeah,
that
she
is
didn't
true.
like to come. She didn't want to work 5 days a week.
Yeah, she didn't know how it was to be a lead role.
Oh.
She was
She
very
never-
entitled
She
due
was
to
in the
like
Meg. She
Orange
was
is
in
the New
John Wick.
Black.
She had a cool scene with Keanu in that second
Yeah.
film.
It's not like what happened to her on set injuries is very terrible. And yes, like they should be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
But her whole on-set diva-ness is what made her lose her job. Not her injuries, not her wanting to leave. It's she got fired because the cast and crew had enough of her.
Really? But like, that's not too uncommon for leads. I'm not defending her behavior. William Shatner, great guy, was a huge diva during Star Trek. Everyone hated him on set. You know, he was like, yeah, well, I'm Captain Kirk. What are you going to do? Get rid of me? And
well, I mean, what he said was so true. She didn't leave. Like her whole "I left the show" nonsense is so untrue. She's making you feel like she was left the show because of those things. She didn't leave the show because of those things. She was fired because of those things.
Yeah, but Caiden, look at those cheekbones. you know
She's
how
not
hard
up your alley, Jack. She
I'm
fights for the other team.
Yeah, that's all right. I can still say, I'm just saying, great cheekbones. All right, we're gonna keep moving on. Ty, I think you have to go, right?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a couple things right now, so I just wanted to pop in and say hi and talk to everyone and say and well wish. I got called in. I was supposed to have today off, but I got called in and I didn't get to do my thing this morning. But definitely be respectful of each other in the chat.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
I kind of talked about it. I kept it vague, and then Adam was like, "Hey, remember when this person and this person got into it?" I'm like, "Dude, shh." I was trying to be vague about it, and Adam's like, "Hey." But,
Adam just blasted it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, be respectful of each other, guys. We only have one life, as we know. So don't waste it yelling at each other and being mad. Trust me, I've done it too much.
Yes.
But
I've never done it.
yeah, look out for my
There's
next
too many
cameo at
other things to be
Halloween.
mad about other than at each other.
Yes, but yeah, look out for my next cameo in Halloween or another horror movie that I'll be in. And
I was making a comparison. Remember when I was telling people the story that because of the lockdown you couldn't go to your regular barber, so you had to go to another guy who didn't speak English.
Oh yeah, that was the worst, dude.
Kind of like your hair kind of looked like the kid. I was like,
yeah.
Which I didn't mind. I thought your hair looked nice. I liked it, but whatever.
No, I think it looked like trash. But I see where you're going with that.
They look like.
But yeah. All right. So have a good rest of the show, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right.
All right. Awesome blossom. All right. See you, Ty. Guys, get up for Ty. Bye. Ty has been on more Jiving with Jax than Austin has in the last 2 weeks. That's a joke. I'm just joking, Austin.
Oh yeah.
But real quick, let me talk about this. Dwight from The Office, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and WB is their own worst enemy. So W is actually my friend, which is my worst enemy.
Oh my god.
A little Cartman nod here. Respect my
Also,
part.
what's funny is that is how people were expecting a new TV show announcement because but I'm like, Warner Brothers TV PR is way different from Warner Brothers movie media PR, while Warner Brothers movie PR might have announced some movie, while Warner Bros. TV at least had the guts to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And said that oh yeah, what she said, which is they didn't say that she was lying. The only part that said she was lying was that she left the show.
Yeah.
That's and people were like, "Oh, you're I'm like, all they said was that she didn't leave the show, she was fired, and which is true. That's all they said. And people were attacking them, acting like they said, "Oh, she was full on lying," but whatever.
I didn't know the other side of that. See, folks, there's always two sides to every story.
There's always 3 sides to the story. There's the victim A, victim B, and the truth.
Yes. But Gavin Cooley says, "I am the law." Dude, that Judge Dredd movie is awesome.
I am the law. I respect my authority.
You got to hold it. I am the law. I am the law. That's gonna be same with the new outcomes. I don't know, Prakash. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Why is Batman Cape Crusader coming out in 2023? Because animation takes a long time.
Animation takes a long time, and also it's not like something that they were just like that they like had a long process of like of thinking about.
Yeah,
it was just something like they're like, oh, a lot of people are like streaming numbers for Batman the Animated Series on HBO Max were at all-time high this year, and they're like, let's recreate that but better.
My problem with Caiden is I hate WB, so logic not sound here.
Yeah,
hey, look, WB also gave me Zack Snyder's Justice League against their will, but they gave it to me. They also gave me the Suicide Squad. So like, and I love Shazam. So like, someone somewhere is doing good things. Caden, do we know if Kevin Conroy is doing Batman, or are they going to go with a new actor? I'll be honest, at those parts of DC Fandom, I kind of hit fast forward. I was like, skip. Is Kevin Conroy going to be the voice for Batman Cape Crusader, or are they going to go? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. Like, if they're like, hey, it's a new thing, we're going to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Damn, Prakash. Prakash is on fire. Okay, I'm glad Caden clicked on it. I was going to click on it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to click on
now
that.
We're getting Black Super. Well, both Black Supermen are actually in the comics. You have Clark Kent, which is Calvin Ellis, and
I guess my issue might be, where Prakash said, we're getting these movies in lieu of a Man of Steel 2.
Right
there. It's like, hey,
I understand that part, but they're both characters that already are there.
Wait, aren't they doing Black Clark Kent? I know they were going to do
Calvin Ellis and the other one, the Jordan Valzad, yeah.
No, but this one they said was going to be Clark Kent, but black. So it's the same Clark Kent, but he's African American. I already told you what's going to be in the movie. I've already written it out.
It's a period piece too.
It's going to be the opening shot of the first trailer. Do you guys remember my my Black Superman opening? Let me see. Oh, sorry.
No. We both got into like.
Guys texted me something real quick, and I just gotta stop. But do you guys want to know what my scene is? Ty's asked me, but I'm gonna do it again, guys. This scene, when they make the Black Superman movie, will be in the movie verbatim, because it's supposed to be a period piece, right? It's not set in modern days.
It's 1960s.
All right, here we go. Caden, don't get offended. You'll see Black Clark Kent in a car with a white Lana Lang. Oh, it's so nice to see you, Clark. Woo, whoop! And all of a sudden, you see like the whitest cop with like a vein sticking about his eye. Like, what you doing in this car, you boy? Step out. Warner Brothers presents. Excuse me, officer. I have my papers. Please spread your legs. What are you doing with him, Miss Lang? Oh, we're just going out for a movie. You going out with a movie? Please, officer, no problem. This is what I think about your movie. He's going to take out his gun and the bullet's going to hit Black Superman and bounce right off of him. And the cop's going to be like, oh my God. And it's going to like, then you're going to do the DC logo. And then you're going to do, but yeah, that scene is going to be in the movie. Then you're going to see John Kennedy. He's like, Clark, listen, people America ain't going to accept the fact that the most powerful man in the world is a black man. And he's like, but Dad, how can I save people if they hate me? I'm telling you, this is what the movie's going to be. That's what it's going to be. Sorry, Caden. I'm like, Caden's like just shaking. I can hear Caden shaking his head. I can hear Caden shaking his head right now. Like, that's it. I'm going with Austin. I'm telling you, that is going to be a scene because I know how these people write. That's exactly what they're going to put in the movie. Now, is there
the worst thing I've ever heard.
That's
you
exactly.
Put money on it?
We put money on it. Oh, Justin. No, I'm not putting money. I don't gamble. Gambling's a sin. But that is going to be a scene in that movie, unless they cancel it, which I don't know. I haven't heard much about it. Like, they were going to do it, and then I like the other idea that Michael B. Jordan was going to play Calvin Ellis. That's Superman, which I thought was kind of cool because I'm like, oh, that's great. Where's Austin to back me up? Because Austin's also against the idea of making Clark Kent black, but do the two Black Supermen that you have. Multiverse. Caden's just not talking anymore. Caden is
the
is like
person that is dealing with the other person is now saying some other stuff to us and now putting us.
Oh, is that so? You were looking at what I was looking too, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I wish we could pull this up and just talk about it. Val-Zod. So that I'm fine with. Like, do Val-Zod. Like, could you? Same thing. Like, at least Miles Morales is a different character, so give him his story too. And I think we're gonna get Miles Morales very soon. Who knows? Maybe an announcement. I have a feeling, just a feeling. Val-Zod. People don't like J.J. Abrams and franchises. He's better off in original movie stories. Yeah. In one way, he kind of like reinvigorated Star Trek, but also ruined it. Give Icon Static Shot. Give an Icon. I really don't care about Superman, honestly. Yeah, Static Shot. I would like to see that movie. Is that movie or series they're doing?
They're doing a movie on Static Shock. They're also doing an animated movie on the Milestones.
Bring it back. There we go. Bring it back, folks. Bring it back. I'm surprised they haven't tried to do a Black. Now that Chadwick Boseman has passed, they should do an animated series with Black Panther. I think there's so much they could explore there. I don't know. No one listens to me. Well, I think we have to get Clark Kent back. If the Warner Brothers will hire Henry Cavill, they'll have to give him back. We have one last topic to talk about because I do have to. So here's the problem. I have to go to work and I don't have my car. I'm texting my dad, folks. I'm not ignoring you. I'm saying, call mom. I need my car. I have to get to the German club. Oh, boy. So let's see what's going on here. Uh-oh. We have drama going on, folks. Let me see. Good times, folks. Maybe one day we can laugh about this. Like that one time I was. Well, I don't know. I got to tell the story about. You guys remember the episode with Poindexter Lounge was here and I had to leave? That's a funny story. I'm going to tell what Poindexter's Lounge is. Maybe we can laugh about that story. But we have one last thing we have to talk about. And it has nothing to do with any of this stuff. And it's really short. Caiden, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk.
I just want to see some tongue. I just want to see some. I'll pay for it. Just give me some tongue.
Get the tongue in.
Happy birthday to you. I just.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I just had to show that. Oh crap! Forgot to do the Scream AMA. Damn it.
Do you want to do that right now, real quick?
Let's do it real quick. Okay, so where are the Scream fans? Kasuka.
Scream. So.
AMA. So they did an AMA. Was it last week?
Yeah, last Wednesday. I was lucky enough to join a Discord.
I'm with Jack. We just kind of cover it now because
yeah,
that's how we roll.
Last Wednesday I was very lucky to join a group chat for Scream, and they had a little AMA. Funny thing is that they posted the AMA questions today because I had a whole Twitter thread about it, but I think it's better to see their words than my condensed words.
Okay, yeah, pull it up.
I have it pulled up, and so when we come in, it's like they do introduction and stuff. But so we asked their scary movie and all that. It was just like introduction stuff, and so this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Is that right when they ask them favorite ghost face?
Yeah.
They all say Stu.
And
then whenever they bring up Ghostface, they always talk about Stu.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they all say Stu, and their go-to hiding spot is Tyler, the other director, said run, and then Matt said bed. And Scream rule they live by is don't say be right back.
Yeah.
Boom. And then,
So the theory, do you want to talk about this theory without ruining it?
So basically there's a theory based on an idea that Wes Craven was going to do in Scream 3 that Stu has been in hospital prison since the first Scream and created a Ghostface cult. And that's what all the other Ghostface are people that are part of the cult of Ghostface. And then in this movie, Stu is finally fed up and wants to do it himself. He's like Thanos. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Moment. And so then someone asked them, what was your favorite death scene in the whole franchise and why? The whole franchise, okay. Death scene, because I was gonna say Scream 2, just entire Dewey Gale.
Yeah.
Oh, in the sound room. The sound room, what like the death scene. And they kind of spoil the death when they did this. I'm glad they took it out during when they typed it up. But they kind of spoiled death in their favorite death. So I won't say which one that was, but they did kind of spoil that.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to build up to the legacy of that is Wes Craven?
Yeah,
and what was how was it stressful? And they said that they were like, oh, we read all the old scripts, we read the unreleased scripts, they read all the scripts.
Scream 2 had like 20 different endings that they
like they read every single script that there can possibly be for Scream.
Yeah.
And they talked to Wes Craven's old editor, cinematographer. They got them back.
I hope that talk to Kevin Williamson.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They made sure that they, talked to them. And then people were asking, how does this differ from the others and how were they inspired to do this one? They're huge fans of the franchise, which was a plus for them. And without spoiling anything, they, each installment is specific to the time, and technology helps with each movie. And you see it in the first trailer of what technology that they have, but they're not tech reliant. They're just going to show you how tech has changed from the first Scream, second, to third, to the fourth, to the fifth.
Yeah. Do you know that caller ID, which now is common, was a new invention in the 90s, and caller ID sales went up 60% after the release of Scream because everyone was getting prank calls after Scream. It just became a thing, unfortunately.
Right.
And I did it too when I was a kid.
And they were like, was it hard to come up with a concept movie with new technology while keeping the core energy of Scream alive? They were like, yeah, that's a question for Guy and Jamie, since they didn't really come up with that part. But their part, we made sure that they made sure the technology written in the script wasn't overbearing. Last thing they wanted was to bog down the film with technology element. To them, it's not exciting in movies that when technology basically takes over the movie. They want to focus on the human element, take it from there. It's also about finding a way for technology to be used against someone, to be an obstacle, which of course we saw in the trailer.
Yeah,
and that was such a fun. That was such a film and to write in the movie. So yeah, it was just like, it was like, how does technology change it, and what was the overall your favorite part making the movie, and any great set moments to share. It was just a family vibe, it was like how like the original cast really brought them in as a family, brought in both directors, brought the new cast in as a family. All the people that were casted were Scream fans, and everyone that was, and making sure that no one was fanboying like crazy to not ruin the scene. It was a very family-like process where everyone was very considerate and very nice to each other. And what can we expect from the kills, and how's the blood and gore in this one? They wanted Ghostface to be terrifying while also fun to do it.
Yeah.
And they also talked to Wes Craven's original editor about how did they make Ghostface so terrifying in the movies, and how to make it even more terrifying in this one.
Yeah.
Because again, it was like they had Wes Craven's voice and hit their ears about how they had to make this movie as terrifying as possible.
It has to be terrifying, because after a while, especially after Scary Movie, which I love, a lot of people didn't take this mask too seriously. I think enough time has passed that it can be brought back in a kind of a new and kind of inventive way, But so that's the cast for 4. But I cannot wait to see what they do with this 5th film. I know I'm excited for it. Hell, I did an opening with the mask on. I was excited for Scream. But yeah, this is definitely, maybe we'll do a watch party like the week of Christmas when everyone's at home. Maybe we'll do Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think that'd be kind of a cool idea for anyone who hasn't seen the original films.
Say it again.
I would say we should definitely do a watch party around Christmas.
Oh yeah.
should.
And then someone else asked them about what was it working with the original trio and Neve Campbell. They were across the board, wonderful to work with. Like Tyler said earlier, they were sort of the new kids on the block. They were so welcoming and warm and giving. They all got on board because Guy and Jamie wrote an amazing script. Once they were on board, they had thoughts on their own characters that were valuable to them because they were the things that we didn't know living with it for 25 years. So they had all the input and they gave a lot of great script notes. As a whole, they were kind of like parents on set. They made them feel really welcome. They were wonderful with the new cast and everyone gets along great. It was also hard to remember, like, do your job. And yeah, it's really they think as you think. It's crazy.
So both our phones are kind of exploding right now. If you guys hear it. Let me look up real quick. What happened with Aaron Rodgers, Gavin? You tell us, because I'm looking it up. Ex-Bears. I'd like to punch him in his face. Whoa. Stop.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They, like, someone asked them a really cool question was, do they watch and discuss YouTube theories about who can be the new killer and all that stuff? And they said yes. They watch all the theories. They make sure that they make sure this film is for the fans and for the theories, and make sure that everyone gets a little something out of this. And so yeah, it's and you know it was just, you know, like basically
oh boy. Let's put a pin mark on this and let's keep talking about it on Tuesday. How's that sound? Because both of our guys, you can hear our phones going off. We have to deal with something. I have to get to work, but I want to spend more time on screen. I did have a Gabby Petito update. We can talk about that next week. They might have found.
We can just do a quick 5-minute update.
A 5-minute update. It's not even going to take 5 minutes. Oh. Basically, she went missing, and they think they found the boyfriend's remains.
Oh, you know that there's a video of the parents giving someone in their backyard garden something.
Uh-oh.
There's a shelter under their garden.
Let's hope that come Tuesday we might have some more news. For justice.
For justice. And for
not for our justice, but for the term justice. If you are justice.
Yes, for our justice. Justin, come back, please.
Yeah.
Justice.
If you're watching. He says he watches my show, so I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We actually almost got through everything. We talked about Duel. We talked about Dune, the last Duel. We talked about Duel and Dune. Uncharted, Red Notice. Wow, we got through everything. It's been like that. The FBI confirmed it. Yeah. So they found the boyfriend's body. So I think, Caiden, were you the one who suggested he might have gone and killed himself in the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caiden called it. It would be kind of cool if he was alive, just to be like, oh no, I got caught. Like he's living like, he looks like Tom Hanks at the end of Castaway, like with a beard living out there. Kazuka says, please do not lie. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They believe it's his body. So the headline I pulled up, where is it again? Here we go. No, that's not it. Here we go. Suspected human remains belonged to Brett. So it was near his items too, and it's only a mile or two, I think, from the.
Wow. So yeah, they got him.
Yeah. All right. Okie dokie, folks. We love you so much. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us today. I really appreciate it when sometimes I hesitate about not covering Marvel or DC. I wasn't sure if you guys watch it, but look, today we talked about Uncharted. We talked about Halloween for like an hour, and you guys stuck with it. I appreciate it. We want to cover more topics. We want to talk more stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. Caiden, get the button ready. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We probably have a lot of programming coming up to that. we have a lot of programming coming up for you this weekend. We have the podcast, folks. Check out the podcast. We got TY and Saggy. It's every Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
every Sunday, check out the podcast. Make sure to give us a like review. We had to basically take down our old channel on Apple and do a new one because Apple screwed up our account. So if you already left a like and subscribe, make sure you go back and like it and subscribe it again. Make sure you follow Pop Culture Corner. Remember, this Saturday, Austin's new channel launches. So go ahead and give him your support. He's been a big part of us. He's still going to be here. Hopefully he'll be better. Could you imagine if he's still sick by Saturday and he doesn't do his own show? I mean, that would be awkward. But hopefully, just pray for him. He's got some small health issues, nothing crazy, but he'll be back next week. He'll still be here on Jive with Jack. If not, I got Caiden. There'll be me, Caiden, Austin, Caiden, me. And next Thursday, Austin will be hosting Jiving with Jack. So I will not be here. I have a big event that night for Halloween. So it'll be Austin and Caiden hosting Jiving with Jack.
Punching the walls down, being the Caiden and Austin duo.
Yeah.
That punches Jive with Jack down.
Yeah, I know, right? You know what you should do? You should have the same thing that says Jiving with Jack and just put like a piece of duct tape on it that says Caiden and Austin or something like that.
Right.
Or, merge your names, Costin.
do like a weird
lean on Caiden. Lean on
Caiden. Lean on Caiden, and then it'll be like, no, it's like a Lean on Me presents Jiving with Caiden. Cruising.
Good, good for him. Good for him. Someone needs to tell these little girls to, the babies in the crowds,
Oh God.
What is the price for your blind eye? What is okay? Yeah, that's right. Did you technically talk about DC and Marvel though? Yeah, we did, but it wasn't focused on the whole show. Only $1 million per case. Flossing with Austin special episode. Yeah, we'll just call it Flossing with Austin. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, folks, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture.
I just want to see some tongue. I just want to see some.
Kevin, get in here!